Hey guys, Charlie Wilson back here again for another edition of Charlie Tries. Let's adjust this a little bit. Nah, it's fine. Anyway, so this is Mojo's top 10 comedians who died too soon. And I saw a screen capture of Bill Hicks on there, which is one of my favorite comedians of all time. Bill Hicks is what Dennis Leary, basically, it's a stolen persona. Dennis Leary, if you don't know, he was on Rescue Me, and basically his entire first stand-up special was stolen. The entire thing was stolen from Bill Hicks. It's a stolen persona, and that's why I love the guy so much, because when I first saw Dennis Leary, I thought he was a genius. I thought he was hilarious. And then I saw Bill Hicks, and I'm like, wait a minute. This is the same fucking guy. What's going on here? Who stole what from who? And apparently, when Bill Hicks died, Dennis Leary just took Bill Hicks' entire personality and just stole it from him. And Dennis Leary has been known to do that in the past with Louis C.K. He stole his asshole bit. You know, I'm an asshole, yo. He stole that whole thing from Louis C.K. So, yeah, Bill Hicks, to me, was a comedic genius. And a lot of people will say that not a lot of his stuff is funny, but it's a big influence on me. I love ruffling feathers the way Bill Hicks did. So this is the main reason I'm watching it and going to react to it. And I've never seen this until just now. So it was recently uploaded. So let's see what Watch Mojo has to say about the top 10 comedians who died too soon.
They burst onto the comedy scene full of life, and sadly left us too soon.
Did you know to say no in Australian say all the vowels? No.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 comedians who died too soon.
I mean, this is going to be some shindig. People walking around talking big and acting.
I don't know if that was
For
too
this
soon.
list, we'll be considering not just stand-up comedians, but those comedians who made their careers on the big and small screens as well.
Can I join your group? Nah, piss off.
Number 10, Sam Kinison.
Thank you. My name is Sam Kinison, and I can do this to mic stands.
First up is a young comedian who started...
I need to stop that right now, because I don't know if he died too soon the way he was going. He was a huge cocaine addict and definitely a drunk, and he... I don't know if that was too soon. But let's see what they have to say.
His career as a Bible-thumping preacher
a great
in
comic,
Oklahoma before turning his anger and passion to comedy.
Women, if you like something a certain way, tell us about it. Fill us in. Get us a clue!
You don't have to watch many shows before you start to appreciate Sam Kinison's intense
Great
performance
comic.
style
It's
and
just...
trademark scream.
I don't think that was too
You
soon.
sound a little bitter about your two failed marriages.
Bitter? I'm sorry, Chuck, if I let a bitter tone out. Just because I was emotionally raped and I also didn't have twice as Chuck! Let's sit there! Let me put on a happy face!
However, in 1992, the stand-up comedian and actor was preparing for a sold-out show when a drunk driver plowed into his car. He tragically died from his injuries a few minutes later, though his wife, who was in the car with him, would survive.
He was a crazy fuck. They don't go into that shit.
Number 9, Andy Kaufman.
So first,
Yeah,
I would like
agreed.
to imitate
Agreed.
Archie Bunker. You're stupid. Everybody's so stupid. You're meathead. Get out of my chair.
Our next choice made his name as a deeply unconventional comedian after some of his stand-up performances were broadcast on Saturday Night Live, before he made appearances on shows like Taxi and Late Night with David Letterman.
Oh.
His routines were all about subverting audience expectations, and he loved performing pranks. One of his most well-known achievements is performing an incredibly good Elvis impression in his foreign man persona. According to legend, this was the king of rock and roll's favorite, so that's gotta be worth something. Unfortunately, kidney failure caused by lung cancer would take his life in 1984.
Which sucks because he
Unless
didn't
you
even
believe the
smoke.
conspiracy theories.
That's it. Good night. I'm closing it, forgetting about the whole thing.
Number 8. Mitch Hedberg.
I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too.
Known for his vast arsenal of one-liners, Mitch Hedberg was set to take the world of comedy by storm when he died of a drug overdose in 2005.
You buy something or get out. I've got a big
If you knew the guys, that's the thing. I have to stop it right there. If you knew them, you'd know it wasn't too soon because a lot of them were drug addicts, like really hardcore, like Mitch Hedberg. I don't even know if he died of a drug overdose. I think it was gangrene from injecting so much, like the infected needles that he kept injecting into himself. But I don't know if you can call that too soon. I call it unfortunate. It sucks because those guys were great. Anyway.
Oh, did I say wedding? Because I meant to say buy something or get out.
His somewhat free-form and improvisational style meant that he had no issues with trying out new material during recorded shows and making fun of his own jokes when they didn't work.
I wanted to buy a candle holder, but the store didn't have one. So I got a cake.
It's so stupid.
Man, y'all gotta get into my jokes harder. No.
Even though Hedberg didn't leave us much material, what we do have is hilarious to watch.
One time a guy handed me a picture of me and said, here's a picture of me when I was younger. Every picture is of you when you were younger.
So good.
Ain't that about time someone said that?
Number 7. Bill Hicks.
You should be up there on the list. You should be more up on the list. Damn it, Bill
Our next
Hicks.
pick is highly regarded not just by fans, but also by his peers.
Martin Luther King, murdered. Gandhi, murdered. Jesus, murdered. Reagan, wounded. You know.
One of Bill Hicks' favorite stand-up themes was to contrast what humanity was capable of with what it was actually doing.
Take all that money we spend on weapons and defense each year and instead spend it feeding, clothing, and educating the poor of the world, which it would many times over, not one human being excluded, and we can explore space together, both inner and outer.
His fierce passion burned through in every sentence and helped shape his routines into moments that can have you dying with laughter through his sheer conviction alone.
I've been on the road doing comedy for 10 years now, so bear with me while I plaster on a fake smile and plow through this shit one more time.
Pancreatic cancer would take his life in 1994 when he was just 32.
Non-smokers die every day. Sleep tight.
Number 6.
He was much more
Gilda
funny.
Radner.
Yeah, Gilda Radner was a big one. So that was a little more unexpected.
She begins to look like me.
This comedian and actress was known for the many popular characters she created for Saturday Night Live.
You have a 16-year-old daughter in good health named Leanne?
Yeah, that's me. And me too. I'm her sister Marty, and I'm 15. I'm a figure skater.
In these roles, she specialized in broad and obnoxious parodies of television stereotypes, such as annoying advice specialists and news anchors.
Hello, I'm Bubba Wall-Eyed Wise.
Yep.
These characters
Bubba
allowed
Waters.
Gilda Radner to create hilarious and accurate caricatures that helped cement her place in the world of comedy.
The animals, the animals. Let's talk dirty to the animals. You, Mr. Bunny, eat shit, Mr. Bear.
When she died from ovarian cancer in 1989, her husband, Gene Wilder, helped to set up a cancer foundation in her name so that her legacy would live on.
I died this morning, but my mom made me flush the toilet.
Number 5. John Belushi.
Still, I don't think that was unexpected.
Everybody needs somebody to make him
Everybody
laugh.
knew he was
And for
fucked.
many people, that person was John Belushi.
He was a great
I
comedian.
would like to feed your fingertips, to feed your fingertips to the Wolverines. To the Wolverines.
I just don't think that was unexpected.
Notable for his riotous antics, both on-screen and off. The Animal House star always brought a heaping dose
I mean,
of
if I
raw
died,
and vital
I think
energy
people would
to
think
his
that's
roles.
expected
And
because I
that's
drank so
exactly
much.
what made him one of the most interesting aspects of any film he was in.
Gotta make that move toward redemption. You gotta go to church.
Oh, shit.
His early death at the age of 33 from a drug overdose didn't detract from the fact that he achieved more in 10 years than many others do in 50. Number 4. Phil Hartman.
That
John,
one.
do you know your nose is bleeding?
That one is
Oh,
unexpected.
Poppy, are you all right?
I'm fine. Let
It
me
was
alone.
bad.
Who are you talking to, old man? Shut up, you straight trash!
Though Phil Hartman had been an SNL mainstay for years, and even made
was
appearances
sad.
in films like Three Amigos and Jingle All the Way, viewers will really know him for his voices on The Simpsons.
Nice weather at Springfield's only choice. Throw
That
up
one-
your hands and raise your voice.
You may
That makes
remember
me
him from
sad.
such roles as Troy McClure and Lionel Hutz, which, with help from his distinctive tone, became two of the show's standout characters and fan favorites.
Troy, Mac Parker. Ever hear of Planet of the Apes?
The movie or the planet?
Out of respect, these characters were retired from the show following Hartman's murder by his wife in 1998. This made for a fitting tribute for a life tragically ended.
Your sexual harassment suit is just the thing I need to rebuild my shattered practice. Care to join me in a belt of scotch?
Number 3. John Candy.
The last thing I want to hear
That was
is
a little
an annoying blabbermouth. You know, nothing grinds my gears worse than some chowderhead who doesn't know when to keep his big trap shut.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who's a fan of 80s and 90s films will recognize our next choice.
1 million space bucks. We'll be able to pay off Pizza Hut. Give me paw.
John Candy starred in beloved 80s films like Spaceballs, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and Uncle Buck.
Oh.
Every role he took, he filled with contagious humor and energy.
You have any idea how fast you were going? Funnily enough, I was just talking to my friend about that. Our speedometer's melted, and as a result, it's very hard to say with any degree of accuracy exactly how fast we were going.
Candy could take the most terrible jokes and deliver them in a way that made you laugh anyway. And despite his death from a heart attack in 1994, he will be fondly remembered as one of the most lovable comedians of his day.
I had a few hits a few years ago. That's why, you know, just polka, 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 polka. No? Twin Lakes polka, Damahuji polka, a.k.a. Kiss Me polka. Polka kiss.
Number 2. Chris Farley.
Yeah, that was unexpected.
Mainly known for playing people that are overweight through his SNL run, what a lot of people miss about Chris Farley is that he was capable of creating distinct and memorable characters that went well beyond his appearances on the sketch comedy show. Some, like his motivational speaker Matt Foley, were invited to feature on shows like Late Night with Conan O'Brien. It's this talent for creating such hilarious characters that will see him remembered by fans of comedy for years to come, despite his untimely death at age 33 of a drug overdose.
You were saying?
Hey, Gilligan, did you eat the skipper?
Praise the God of city punks that this wind doesn't pick up. Come over there and jam it all up your ass.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Officer, I was carjacked. I was held up at gunpoint. He took my wallet, everything.
30,000 Chinese people died
Patrice
in an
O'Neal.
earthquake. And you're like, I'm going to care about this. I know.
Patrice O'Neal was the one that I was unexpected. I have to pause it for Patrice. Hold on a second. For Patrice, if you guys don't know who Patrice O'Neal is, he's one of the greatest. He should have been bigger. He should have been a bigger comic because he was so goddamn good on the Opie and Anthony show, on everything he was ever on Fox News. There's a Fox News thing that he does where he's defending Imus when Imus said the nappy hoe shit. You know, it's so fucking good. Patrice should have been number 1, actually, because he was so goddamn good. He is one of the best ever of all time. I'll put Patrice up there with like top 3. So good. And now that he's gone, you miss that guy because he had a stroke. He had diabetes at the time, but he also had a stroke. And Bill Burr does a benefit for his family every year. And he was such a good comic. Just a couple more years. Just 2 more years, he would have been as big as any other comic today. He would have been up there with Louis C.K. for sure, with all the great Boston actors, Boston comedians. Great Boston comedian. Just had to put that out there. I'm a huge comedy snob. I love that. Patrice didn't give a shit. Didn't give a shit how you felt about him. Love that guy. It's great. Check him out. He still has a lot of great shit. Opie and Anthony, hours of Opie and Anthony. Go look up on YouTube Patrice O'Neal, and you'll fucking love that guy. Like I do. So, just a recommendation.
You know, there's a stripper in the burlesque house on stage goes, here it is, boys, da-da-da, it's cool. But let her do that in a public park on the way home and their ass is in jail.
Man, you got some lovely hands.
Lenny Bruce was a front runner, like a frontier.
Sorry? I tried all sorts of brand lotion. I even went fragrance free for a whole year.
Only 2 left.
Oh, that's all right. JD will go out.
Oh, get some chips. You're such a drunk. When alcohol does its taxes, it lists you as a dependent.
Number 1, Robin Williams.
That was unexpected. That was very unexpected.
Nobody else comes close to the comedy chops of this legend. His skilled voices, his remarkable improv abilities, and his extensive acting range all place Robin Williams firmly in the world's hearts, and made it that much more painful when he committed suicide at age 63.
I'm glad you didn't see this at the surgery. Hey, Dave, it's me!
But the most truly surprising thing about our top comedian was his skill at dramatic roles.
I love you without knowing how.
1 hour photo?
When?
Crazy.
Or from where?
Robin Williams' warmth and ever-present humor made the viewer really care about what happened to his character in films like Mrs. Doubtfire and Patch Adams. And it's thanks to those kinds of performances.
I have to pause it again. Sorry, guys. When I was still delivering mail, I stopped in at a convenience store, and everybody was talking about it, and we all started talking together about it. Like, we all started saying, can you believe that shit? I was still on my route. I still had mail deliveries to make, but I was like, wow. Talking just like, did you hear? Like, to some stranger. Did you hear? Robin Williams just died. And everybody's like, holy shit. Like, everybody stopped and talked about it. That's how fucking amazing that guy was. He was such a great actor and such a great comedian. It sucks, man. And that goes to show you about suicide and about depression, that it's not an illness. Well, it is an illness. It's just, it's not something to be taken lightly, like an illness, like where somebody says, oh, well, I have a cold or I have a flu or anything like that. It's a mental state. Don't take it fucking lightly. I've dealt with the same thing he's dealt with, just on a different level. I felt like suicide. In my previous videos, I've gone over that, where I've talked about my dealings with suicide. And that makes me think that, you know, with him, even as successful as he was, and how many awesome movies he's made and all this stuff that he's had, he still felt that way. Like I felt this way. You know, I feel the way he feels. So he's a big hero of mine. I love Rob Williams. I'm big fan.
Performances that he'll be remembered forever.
Aladdin. Forgot about Aladdin.
Do you agree with our list?
Next question. You there, eating the paste.
Which comedian do you think died too soon?
I got light skin, straight hair. That's from my father. From my Puerto Rican mother, I got my nose and my mustache.
For more interesting top 10s published every day,
I still think Bill Hicks should have been higher on the list.
WatchMojo.com.
Yes. Give in. Give in to your cravings.
Oh, there you go. That was Watch Mojo's top 10 comedians unexpectedly died. Well, yeah, I agree to a certain extent. Like Robin Williams was unexpected. Bill Hicks was definitely unexpected at the time. Sam Kinison, not so much. The guy was a drugged up motherfucker. Granted, he got hit by a drunk driver, but he was most likely drunk at the time or drugged up as well, according to the actual reports. But Phil Hartman, obviously, was very unexpected. Phil Hartman, goddamn, I loved him on news radio at the time. He was on the show News Radio. Crazy shit. But I'm a big fan of comedy, and I just saw that, and I thought I should do a reaction to it. Definitely Chris Farley as well. But a lot of these people, a lot of them knew they had problems at the time. Like even Joe Rogan has said at the time, like him and Phil Hartman and his wife, when he was on news radio, Joe Rogan, Phil Hartman and his wife were having problems back and forth and real bad. And yeah, it's crazy, man. Well, now that you're all depressed like I am, enjoy the rest of the night. I'm going to post this, and hopefully you can see the tragedy that is comedy, because that's what it is. Comedy is tragedy, tragedy is comedy, in a certain way. You need that negativity to understand the positivity, I guess. So this is Charlie Wilson for another edition of Charlie Tries. Later, y'all.